Guys, I want you to humor me one time. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, stop. Guess what? I never actually did that. Here's what I did do, though. The story is that when they were filming that scene, it was the first scene Matthew McConaughey was filming. And right before they start, he goes off into the corner, and Scorsese's there, and DiCaprio, and he goes, and Mark's like, what the hell is this guy doing? He's like, and Leo's like, it's like his kind of like little chant he does to get himself into state. And Mark's like, I love this, because we have to make this part of the movie. And it actually became this whole war cry throughout the movie, and everyone just loved it. Now there's like, you look at the Tomorrowland, and all the soccer guys in the World Cup are doing it. It's hysterical. But here's the deal. What Matthew McConaughey is doing, he's getting himself into a state for acting, a state of certainty, confidence, clarity, right? And today, and you probably heard this, we call that state management. But back in the day when I was first, cutting my teeth and training the Stratonites, right? Excuse me, we called it staying positive, not getting negative. And I knew intuitively from my own experience, and I'll tell you it's phenomenal, you're gonna love it, right? That if my brokers got negative, they wouldn't produce. Unless they were pumped up in a peak state. So every morning, we'd stand up, I had them squeeze their hands together and say the word yes. That's what we do, just yes. And again, yes, until the one when Crystal, let's do that real quick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, yes. Squeak, 1, 2, 3, yes. Louder, 1, 2, 3, yes.
Let me tell you what this is probably one of the most important things when it comes to success. In every endeavor you go for, whatever job, whatever business you start, there's going to be certain specialized skills that are required. And you need to become extraordinary at them. Let me tell you a story. How did this whole thing happen in my life, right? How did I write this book, okay? How did I go out and take this book and turn it into this whole business that formed a movie and a global brand, right? Well, let me tell you something. I was in jail, okay? And when I show up for jail, who's my bunkmate? Believe it or not, Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. You know Cheech and Chong? He's my bunkmate. Right now, I wasn't in the worst jail in the world. I admit it. I wasn't getting butt each night. My boat was not there. It was a federal prison camp, okay? It was okay. But still, jail's jail. It sucks, right? Tommy's my bunkmate because we were both celebrities. They put us together in one cube. It was a little cube. He's writing a book, right? So Tommy says to me, oh my God, we would tell each other stories at night, and I have him rolling on the floor laughing, man. So by night 3, he goes, I thought you were making this shit up, but my wife Googled you, and it's all true. You live this crazy life. He goes, you gotta write a book. You gotta write about this stuff. So I said, well, I don't know how to write. He says, well, just write the way you speak, the way you tell a story. So, well, guess what? I tried that, doesn't work. Writing and speaking are very different skill sets. They just are completely different. And for the first month or so, I'm writing a couple of pages. I show them to Tommy. He reads it and goes, wow, that really sucks. I'm like, thanks, Tommy. Tell me what you really think, right? And I was depressed because I couldn't get anything out in paper that was meaningful or funny, right? And I almost was going to stop, and I hate quitting anything. And I went to the prison library one day. There's prisons in the library, right? And I stumbled upon a book called Bonfire of the Vanities by Tom Wolfe. And I start reading this book, and I'm like, oh my God, this is how I want to write. So I plow through the book, finish it, and I start back at page 1. I take out a yellow highlighter, and I use this book like a textbook. And for 3 months, I ripped apart every single word, and I broke down Tom Wolfe's strategy for writing. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much you want something or how hard you're willing to work to get something. If you don't possess the actual skill set that's required to do it, it's delusion. And most people don't get that. They'll try to go into a business that's sales-based, but not master the art of sales and persuasion. They'll try to go into another type of business, not master, whatever it might be. They don't master their craft. But the first thing you gotta do is say, okay, I wanna do this. What specialized skills do I need to learn? And take the time to learn them. Master your craft. When I wrote the book, I knew I put myself out there for public scrutiny, that I get a lot of detractors. But you know what? I mean, in the end, and the internet, like, I think if Jesus Christ gave a sermon on the Temple Mount, his famous sermon, you'd have people, trolls, there's nothing new there. That's bullshit. He's full of, like, no matter what you do, people are going to say it sucks, right? You know what I'm saying? And you live in that sort of world where you just have people that are going to love you and people that are going to hate you. So I think that the haters serve a purpose. So, I don't even think much about it.
A limiting belief is like putting a governor on the engine of a Ferrari. The Ferrari can go 240 miles an hour. It has 550 horsepower, 4 valves per cylinder, 12 cylinders. But if there's that governor not letting the gas go through, you ain't going over 55.
Yeah.
That's what a limiting belief does. It stops you from charging forward when you should and causes you to move back when you shouldn't. And we all have them.
Agreed.
And they started getting inserted in our heads when we're yay big. We were all unstoppable on day one. And then came day two, when our parents started spoon-feeding us limiting beliefs. Sometimes, they meant well. They just didn't know because, one of the things that I'm a big believer in is that we were not even given our owner's manual. Our brain's an immensely powerful computer. And this is, known by pretty much everybody in the self-development world. Some of the top people, Dr. Richard Bandler, who I trained with, one of my mentors and a brilliant guy. And the first thing he said to me is, you never got your owner's manual, Jordan. And because of that, you don't realize that the world around you, that you take it as reality, it's really not. It's subjective. The reality I'm looking at is just subjective. I can interpret things how I want. I can have the beliefs that empower me, and I can shed the beliefs that disempower me. So the first thing I do when I meet somebody, when I coach really wealthy people, some stars in Hollywood, the first thing I do is go through what their limiting beliefs are.
Yep.
And you got to root them out. And it's not difficult. You can't just root them out. You got to replace them with empowering beliefs, which is typically the opposite belief.
Thou shalt commit thyself to mastering the art of failing elegantly. This is an entrepreneurial tactic which most young people don't know because they haven't failed yet, really failed. There's two ways to fail in life, in business. Let's talk about business. You can fail elegantly or you can fail miserably, okay? Failing elegantly is a way of going about starting a business or launching a new division of a company that allows you to test out an idea or a concept quickly to get your read, whether it's right or wrong, whether it works or doesn't work, without losing a fortune, without losing a lot of time, versus failing miserably where you lose tons of money, it takes a lot of time, and you end up with nothing but a bankruptcy. Now, when I was 22 years old and I launched my first real business, I went bankrupt. It was the meat and seafood business. I started with 1 truck. I grew to 26 trucks, was making a ton of money, I thought, but I was making every mistake a young entrepreneur can make. I was overexpanding. I was growing with credit. I was undercapitalized, wasn't screening out my employees. Before I knew it, I was out of business, and I failed miserably, lost everything and declared bankruptcy. Nowadays, when I'm approached with an idea, and I like it, I'm going to test the idea, I'll do it in a way that, A, if I'm wrong, I don't lose much money, or better yet, I'll use other people's money. Seriously, I'll always take in an investor and make less on the upside if it means I can protect myself on the downside. And B, I always structure my tests so I get my reads as quickly as possible, so I know quickly the information. And then I can change my approach and try again. Change my approach, and sure enough, by doing that again and again, eventually you'll hit on the right formula. I don't care how smart you are. It's so rare that when you go into business or you try something new that you get it right the first time. The first evolution of an idea is not usually the right one. And where you see that all through history, businesses after business, where they all are now making money, not on how they thought they'd make money. It's some evolution of the idea. If you fail miserably, you'll never get the chance. By structuring your tests so you can fail elegantly, you can test again, and so forth.